Hi, welcome back to Enjoying Pixels. It's another part of Corpse Factory. Look, the intro page has changed. Now we can see that Kojiro and Noriko are here together. So that's an exciting time. Last time we left off, and Noriko was trying to figure out who it was that had nominated her for the Corpse Girl website. And she may have revealed her identity by accident to Kojiro over there. So let's see how we do. But yeah, there's gonna be a really awkward outfit change because my camera died and then I had to wait a couple days to film again. Well, let's do it. Continue. I stand in my kitchenette connected to the living room for a few minutes, completely absent-minded. I open the refrigerator and stare blankly at the dismal contents. A small tub of peach yogurt sits on the top shelf and a half-empty jug of oolong tea rests at the bottom. I grab the yogurt and peel off the lid. Without even fetching a spoon, I simply pour a little into my mouth. I consume about half of the tiny portion and wipe my mouth before throwing the leftovers in the trash can. That'll be enough to spike my energy for the morning. When you normally run on an empty stomach, any amount of calories can work as a pick-me-up. I make a mental note to collect 2 or 3 cans of coffee from the convenience store on my way to work. They should carry me through the rest of the day. The rest of the early morning is spent applying makeup and getting dressed. I'm out of the door at the same time as every other day. Murder! Oh, did you get the photo out of Tomoe's desk from last time? To stop myself from nodding off at my desk, I decide to rearrange my personal effects. Having something to focus on is a great way to fight off sleep. Unlike the other employees here, I don't tend to keep too much at my workspace, yet it still manages to feel cluttered somehow. Next to my computer monitor are 3 little figurines that I collected from toy capsules and machines. They're a set of anthropomorphic coffee cans that were released as a promotional campaign for my favorite coffee brand. Each figure is about the size of my thumb. They're cute little things, and when you put a coin into the capsule machine, you never know which character you're gonna get. So far I've managed to collect Captain Cafe au Lait, Lieutenant Long Black, and Madame Macchiato. If I remember correctly, there are 2 more I still need to get. But the capsule machines seem to be out of rotation now, because they've been replaced with a different series of toys. If I ever want to collect the remaining figures, I'll probably need to buy them online. Oh well, I'm not super invested in having to own all of them. I give each tiny figure a bit of a dusting and set them back up next to my monitor so they are all standing up straight and facing forward. Satisfied that they're tidy, I look to the small tray of drawers that sit on the other side of my monitor. I mainly just store papers and office memos in them. They're not really big enough to hold anything much larger than documents. I rummage through the drawers and discard a few old notices that aren't relevant anymore. When I'm done, I file away a couple of loose papers that have been fluttering around my desk for the last week. With that complete, I straighten up my keyboard so it's parallel with my mouse pad. I give the keyboard a thorough dusting and then lean back in my chair to admire my work. The desk looks much nicer now. A clean workspace invites a clear state of mind, or so my coworkers would have me believe. Maybe I'll buy into that a little bit, now that I can see the effects for myself. The corner of my eyes catches a glimpse of blonde hair and I turn to watch Tomoe enter the office. She nods at Shinya as she walks by his desk and continues nonchalantly towards her own workspace. Since her desk is in my line of sight, I have the perfect vantage point to watch her put her belongings down and take a seat. I feel a sudden stirring of excitement as she sits down. It's almost as if I'm anticipating something to happen. Was something supposed to happen with Tomoe today? Have I forgotten something important? My tired mind can't really focus on these thoughts. I try to ignore the mild surge of adrenaline that started pulsing through me when she took her seat. I distract myself by starting up my computer and looking over the list of today's tasks. It looks as though I need to correct a few entries I uploaded to the company server yesterday. In my previously distracted state, it's possible I made a few typographical errors. That's fair enough. I'll get to work on correcting the data. I open up a few programs and listen to the whirring of my computer tower, nearly drowned out in the clamor of the office environment. The next sound I hear eclipses the noise of the computer and the office completely and absolutely. A terrified shriek slices through the air like a knife, leaving a deathly ringing silence in its wake. I scramble to my feet purely out of instinct, scanning for the source of the scream. I don't have to look very far before my eyes fall upon a distressed Tomoe kneeling on the floor and clutching her face. She's on the ground next to her desk, staring down unblinkingly, her fingers white from the strain of clawing at her own head. In the sudden chaos of people rushing to her side, I somehow manage to notice that one of the drawers on her desk is wide open. An open drawer? As tired and exhausted as I am, the significance of the open drawer isn't lost on me. I immediately realized why my body subconsciously felt excited when Tomoe came into the office this morning. I left something in her desk drawer, something I wanted her to find. Yesterday's obsession with discovering the identity of the one who requested my death caused me to forget my rebellious strike against Tomoe. I left something in her desk yesterday, thinking she was the one who submitted my photo to the website. Then she didn't come into work, and it completely slipped my mind. After she confessed to requesting Akane Suramaki's death, I erased my suspicion of her being the one who targeted me, but I didn't remove the item from her drawer. I'm in deep shit now. Before I can even lurch forward from behind my desk, Tomoe turns her head to face me. Her cold, grim eyes lock onto mine, refusing to let go. A trickle of crimson blood seeps from her scalp where her fingernails pierced her skin during her panicked scream. Swallowing my nervousness, I break eye contact with her and stare down at the flat object that was the focus of her outcry. It's a familiar photograph, a printed image on glossy paper, traditional old school, and just as effective as I had hoped. Though I can't make out all the detail from this distance, the composition of the photo doesn't elude my memory. It depicts my very own corpse toppled backward over a tombstone. A bloody slash traces across my neck, a laceration lines my stomach, and a knife protrudes from my breast. My black hair is a tangled mess, my dark eyeliner smeared and smudged. The grimace on my face is the unmistakable mask of death. Noriko Kurosawa, stoic and unflinching in death. Noriko Kurosawa, dead atop random tombstone in some nameless cemetery. A bizarre yet ultimately unremarkable way to die. It suits me perfectly. I'm proud of the work that went into this photo. The objective was to punish Tomoe for requesting my death, to create a work of art so horrific that she would beg for forgiveness when she found me still breathing. But the scene playing out before me is unlike anything I had imagined. Tomoe's face is scrunched up with hatred, the veins in her forehead threatening to burst and shower the office with sanguine gore at any given second. Whether or not she thinks this is some sick prank is beyond my knowledge. All I can decipher from her expression is that she's likely to strangle me given the opportunity. But perhaps I'm jumping ahead of myself. No, she already attacked you in the parking lot. Why do I automatically assume that she believes I'm guilty of putting the photo in her drawer? I mean, aren't I the victim in the image? Perhaps she actually
is responsible for this.
She howls like a wounded animal, a battered and ooh, my phone's going off. How dare they? She howls like a wounded animal, a battered and beaten pup backed into a corner. It was an alarm, it wasn't a person. I didn't just blow somebody off entirely for Corpse Factory. Clutching the photo, now torn from her bloodied fingernail, she stands and plants her feet firmly on the floor, steadfast, stern, resolute, a bulwark of immovable fury. All eyes are upon her. The bleached blonde girl through me with an antagonizing attitude is the center of attention in the office.
This photo is disgusting! Absolutely sick! Who made it?
From the confused and puzzled faces of the 20 or so employees huddled around, it's obvious that no one really knows what Tomoe is talking about. The photo is small, and with her clutching it tightly and waving it around frantically, it's impossible for anyone to make out the detail. Good, let's keep it that way. We don't want people figuring it out. Already nearly revealed everything to Kojiro. I'm bold enough to assume that no one else has managed to properly glimpse it yet. And maybe I can prevent our coworkers from getting a closer look if I act fast. I dart out from behind my desk and approach Tomoe.
Let me see.
Tomoe aggressively thrusts the photo towards me. I take a cursory look at it and gasp loudly to add credibility to my acting. Adopting a fake countenance of shock, I grab Tomoe by the shoulder and pull her close to me. I bow my head against hers so we stand intimately in the middle of the crowd, forehead to forehead, our eyes fixated on one another. I hope my beating heart isn't loud enough for Tomoe to notice as we stand against each other. I whisper softly, my pulse quickening as I try to make my words sound urgent and confident rather than broken and anxious.
Come with me. I need to talk to you.
Okay. Are we about to befriend Tomoe? Tomoe tenses and stiffens, but she murmurs something that sounds like agreement. I pull away from her and grab her wrist to lead her out of the office. We exit from the throng of onlookers scratching their heads and dart toward the elevator. Shinya says nothing as we pass him. He just looks on with a pale face. The elevator ride down is silent and awkward, but eventually the doors open to reveal the ground floor lobby. Trying to rush ahead there, too excited. We weave between the scattered couches and sculptures, making a frantic dash for the exit. We finally emerge outside into the brisk morning air. Trying hard to catch my breath, I notice that Tomoe isn't nearly as exhausted as I am. I want to chalk up my wheezing condition to a lack of sleep, but I know that's just an excuse for my poor physical fitness. Tomoe is still holding the photo in her hand. She looks at it once more in disgust, then faces me with one hand on her hip.
You want to tell me what the this is? Look, it's difficult to explain, but I'll try my best.
So I make corpse photos for fun.
I want to find out who planted this in my drawer! And look at this!
She thrusts the photo at me once again. She uses the point of her thumb to indicate the timestamp printed at the bottom of the image.
It's got yesterday's date on it. A photo of your dead body, as if you've already been killed. But here you stand.
Sure enough, the photo bears yesterday's date. The time states 9:06 p.m. I marked it as such when I was under the belief that Tomoe would find it yesterday morning. I wanted her to anxiously wait out the day until my death accompanied the rising moon. Since that didn't go down the way I planned, the confusion on Tomoe's face now is self-explanatory.
I just can't believe that corpse girl wants you dead.
I'm loving Tomoe's makeup. I know that's not appropriate vibes for this scene, but I love it. What did she say?
Huh? This is just like what happened to Akane Tsurumaki when I requested her death. The police found a photo of her own dead body on her phone when they investigated how she died.
What? Is this public knowledge? How did I not know this? It's because she's hanging out with Shinya, and so he's got inside information.
And now you've got a similar photo. Does that mean Corpse Girl is trying to kill ya? But it doesn't make sense. It's already past the time it says here. And why was the photo in my desk drawer? What do I gotta do with it?
I'm still reeling from the information about Akane Tsurumaki. The police discovered the corpse photo on her phone. Of course they did. Of course they have investigated her death. It was foolish of me to assume the photo wouldn't come to light. Tomoe grits her teeth and tenderly touches a finger to the bloody cut in her scalp, the place her fingernails slashed in anguish. She looks at her fingertips in revulsion and sighs.
Look, maybe it's my fault that Akane Tsurumaki ended up down the well. Maybe it's not. The least I can do is make sure that the corpse girl doesn't come to get you as well. You ain't my friend or nothing, but sluts gotta stick it out together, right? I don't want another cold on my conscience.
What a bond. I feel like these are the most touching words Tomoe can string together. I'm somewhat flattered that she wants to protect me.
Tomoe, you don't have to do anything.
Look, for real.
Yeah, I kinda do, you know? You comforted me a little when I came to you about the dead skank. Made me feel like I wasn't totally to blame, yeah?
Tomoe, why are you like this? Why have disparaging language at all times?
You might not be as much of a psycho as I thought. Might be a heart beating behind that flat chest.
Look, there's nothing wrong with the tiny boobs. I say from experience.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh yeah, tonight's a wine night. Unexpectedly, the brash and brazen girl beams at me brightly.
I'm putting you under 24-hour surveillance.
No.
Corpse Girl's gonna have to crack my skull open before she goes sticking her fingers into yours.
That's gonna be too much, Tomoe.
Tomoe, really, that's not necessary.
I can't figure out a way to convey that I'm not actually in any danger. Well, immediate danger at any rate. It's true that there is someone out there who wants me dead badly enough to have requested it through the website. But as far as the threat of Corpse Girl coming to get me goes, I'm perfectly safe. I resign myself to simply staring blankly at Tomoe, the girl I hold so much disdain for. I know I should choose my next words carefully. Tomoe is prone to violent outbursts at even the best of times. Oh. Why, hello there. A choice? Yeah, I want to decide what I'm gonna do. That was very Tomoe, yeah. I don't need you to protect me, so F off. Thanks, but I'll be fine on my own. I'd feel better with you looking after me. Okay, so we have a choice here where we could actually get closer to Tomoe. But given how the plot is going right now, it doesn't make sense for us to do that yet. Maybe, because this is a multiple ending game, maybe on another playthrough, because there's no reason with everything that's going on and with Noriko how she is right now that she would want that. So let's just say thanks, but I'll be fine on my own.
Thanks, but I'll be fine on my own. Nah, that's bull. You're a delicate little thing, so it's up to me to look after you. Seriously, I'll be okay. I don't think Corpse Girl is going to come after me. Oh yeah? And what makes you so sure? It's a long story. But look, you said it yourself. The time and date on the photo have already passed, right? Huh. Oh, yeah, guess so. But so what? Well, I can't imagine someone coming to kill me now. I mean, the corpse in the photo is clearly dead at 9:06 p.m. last night. But I'm standing right in front of you. I'm pretty alive right now.
Smooth. Much smoother than what happened with Kojiro.
You're not really convincing me. I mean, I don't totally believe this Corpse Girl person really exists, but still. Something or other killed Akane Tsurumaki. Pretty sure it wasn't suicide, what with the photo and all.
Am I having regrets about not low-key flirting with Tomoe? Maybe a little.
So, since you got one of them photos too, I think it's best we hang. At least for a day. Let me keep you safe.
We're gonna be hanging out, y'all.
You're really stubborn, you know that?
Oh yeah, but I've been called worse.
You call her worse all the time.
But why'd you think the photo was in my drawer? Did Corpse Girl get her desks mixed up? And shouldn't it have just been texted to you?
I don't know.
Ugh, this shit really f***s with my head. Let's just get back to work, yeah?
And then we'll hang out. Besties. Tomoe turns to head back into the building but stops short. She faces me and hands me the photo.
Here. Better you have it than me.
She enters the office and leaves me standing in the cool morning air. Looking down at the photo, it's pretty clear that it's me in the image. I suppose it would be best to delete this evidence. I shred the photo carefully, making sure to completely destroy any of my defining features in the image. With the photo completely ripped beyond recognition, I toss it in a nearby bin and enter the office building. After dealing with Tomoe, the rest of the day goes by without incident. I'm thankful, mainly due to how exhausted I am from lack of sleep. Why am I having regrets about not saying we should hang more? Next time. There's time. When I finally get home, I crash on the couch and watch the sun vanish from the sky. It's late, but I can still make the most of the night if I pull myself up from the couch. With great effort, I manage to stand and then make my way to the kitchen to brew a cup of tea. In my mind, I run through a list of things I should do during my free time tonight. I could check my website, requests, take a bath, or maybe get back to reading Strange Flowers. Whatever I end up doing, I'm just relieved the day is over. With a steaming cup of green tea in my hand, I retreat to my room and leave the outside world to continue turning without me. Wednesday, June 3rd. Another dull morning in the office. The chatter of people talking on the phone, the humming of the air conditioner, the tapping of fingers against keyboards. If I didn't have music to drown out the white noise, I'd probably go mad from being exposed to it every day. I don't know how everyone else deals with it. Thanks to a good night's rest, I've been able to work diligently so far. I've completed a few tasks already, but there is still a lot more work to do. As I continue to pulverize my keyboard with thin, brittle fingers, I look out over the office floor to see who is around. Shinya sits at his desk, his expression scrunched up in concentration, and he absent-mindedly scratches his face with the blunt end of a pen. Turning my gaze, I observe the back of Tomoe's head as she works attentively at her computer. She hasn't said anything to me since we arrived at the office this morning. Because I now know that she's not the one who requested my death, I feel more at ease around her. And with the photo of my own corpse destroyed, I can put yesterday's unplanned events behind me. I need to be more careful in the future. Forgetting that I planted a photo like that in Tomoe's desk drawer was an oversight I can't afford to repeat. I need to be clever, calculated, cunning. Corpse Girl's ambitions require me to be at peak performance at all times. I can't go messing up like that again. I'm lucky that no one else was dragged into the whole mess. Imagine if I did something so stupid when trying to kill a real victim. I would have ruined the entire operation. Taking a deep breath, I clap my cheeks softly with both hands. From now on, I'm going to truly focus when carrying out my plans. All I need to do is wait for the next victim to come through the website. I'm ready for it. Finding out the identity of whoever requested my own death shouldn't be top priority. I'm immune to Corpse Girl's wrath, of course, so unless someone decides to come at me with a knife, I'm perfectly safe. I'll check the website requests this evening as soon as I get home. It's too risky to try and access it while at work. With a newfound resolve, I nod to myself and look ahead to the end of the day. Time's flying now. The flickering notification on my laptop screen prompts a wicked grin to split my face in two. One new request. I don't waste any time before opening up the details of the request. My heart begins to pound and I feel the welcome rush of adrenaline flooding through my body. Request details. Today, 10:55 a.m. local time. Victim's phone. Downloading image attachment. My eyes widen at the sight of the uploaded photo. Two people. Two identical women. Twins. Identical twins at that. The woman on the left is circled in red. She is obviously the requested victim, but without knowing them personally, it's impossible to distinguish between the two. They both have the same stunning features, lustrous hair and contagious smiles. This truly is an interesting request. I immediately jump to the conclusion that one twin wants the other dead. That's not the only possibility, but I'd like to think it's the case. Makes it exciting. This type of request only serves to reinforce my resolve. I can't wait to start gouging out the victim's eyes. She will leave behind a truly beautiful corpse. See, Noriko's recovered. She's fine now. As I wait for my secret weapon, the database of the deceased, to load up, my phone tinkles beside me on the couch. It's a noise message from none other than Kojiro. Hey, you there? About last time. Hi! Hey, that guy Ichi Hanada, gone today. Is that so? Where'd he go? Cremated. Family didn't collect him. Limited space. You know how it is. I don't quite know why Kojiro decided to tell me this. I suppose he still thinks I requested Aichi's death, so... I see. More names? What? Want me to look up more names, Corpse Girl's victims? Sorry, I don't have any more names for you. Shame. Tell me if you request more deaths. Oh, and... do you know her identity? Who, Corpse Girl? Yes. No, sorry, I don't know who she is. Okay. Is it you? Jeez, are we back to this again? No, it's not me. I'm not as clever as all that. Okay. How did she kill? I'm not sure. Okay. What do you know, lol? All I know is that the victim receives a photo of their own corpse before they die. Everyone knows that. My dog knows that. It's her calling card. You had a request fulfilled. Tell me more. I don't know what else to tell you. Lame. Okay. By the way, I saw the photo. What photo? Aichi Hanada, photo on his phone. The calling card. Huh? How did Kojiro see it? Sure, he deals with dead bodies, but surely personal possessions are removed from the deceased before they enter the morgue. I need to play it cool here and not invite any more suspicion of myself. Are you talking about the photo that Corpse Girl supposedly sends her victims? Yes. Funny thing, it was definitely the guy, but photo didn't match cause of death. The photo didn't match the cause of death? I remember crafting Aichi Hanada's photo, of course. It wasn't all that long ago. I used a base image of a corpse with dismembered legs hanging over a power line. It was a memorable image after all. It made a fearsome sight, but it's not something that could be easily replicated by suicide, or by murder for that matter. So I never really expected Aichi to wind up looking like the photo. From what I read in the obituary, he died in a traffic accident. He must have been driving, or he was a pedestrian. Either way, it was likely a collision with a vehicle. For starters, cadaver still has both legs. No legs in the photo. Did you know that? No, I didn't know. I haven't seen the photo you're talking about. You haven't? Interesting. So Corpse Girl doesn't share with the requester. Hang on. Okay. So only the victim sees the photo. Here. Kojiro shares a photo in the chat. Sure enough, it's a snapshot of the corpse photo I produced for Aichi Hanada. He must have copied it from the victim's phone. The photo from Corpse Girl. Compared to this. Another photo is shared in the chat. This one I haven't seen before. Kojiro fired. It's Aichi Hanada's true corpse, sprawled forward in the driver's seat of a wrecked car. Seeing a genuine corpse photo doesn't come as much of a surprise to me. After all, I've spent countless hours trawling through the database of the deceased. I've seen more than my fair share of destroyed lives. There's not too much blood in this photo. It's kinda lame compared to the gorgeous rendition of his death that I lovingly crafted. It's still not entirely evident what led to Aichi's car collision. This very well could have been a genuine accident. For my own ego, I have to at least pretend that Corpse Girl had a hand in it. Thoughts? The real death doesn't match Corpse Girl's photo at all. Why do you think that is? I feel pretty clever and manipulative by putting the question on Kojiro. I want to lessen the suspicion of my true involvement as much as possible. You're asking me? Well, some theories. Corpse Girl's photo is a scare tactic, nothing more, but don't know where photo comes from. She convinces the victim to kill themselves. What the hell? How could his very first theory be right on the money? Just who is this guy? Well, I mean, it's not that complex. I mean, come on now. Is he stalking me or something? Does he actually know the truth? Second theory. Corpse Girl comes after victims, but a genuine accident happened first. Aichi Hanada died before she got to him. His second theory is off the mark, but I can see why he came to that conclusion. Regardless, this is the theory I want him to believe. I think the second theory is most likely. Why would someone kill themselves from seeing a photo? Doubting my own methods like this leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Not that simple. Photo is personal and timestamp. Adds urgency, realism. Could be effective, especially in someone anxious or gullible. He's right, of course. Although causing death in this manner was never my intention when I first started Corpse Girl's website, it's a possibility that did occur to me when Rui Hatano died. Wait a minute, how did you even get these two photos? Lol. Now she asks. Police on scene like to share, more morbid the better. Dead guy with corpse photo on his phone fits the bill. They sent me both photos. We played spot the difference, lol. Disgusting. I never knew the police could be so disrespectful to the dead. Well, I can't really talk, at the very least I'm not in that line of work. Anyway, coffee? Huh? Get coffee with me. Yes, no? Unbelievable! This guy wants to meet up and grab coffee! Has this conversation really given him the feeling that I'm interested in him? Does he think we've bonded over discussion of dead bodies? I mean, I can see why he'd think that. I'm about to tell him no, but some part of me hesitates and halts my fingers. Kojiro has connections. The morgue, the police. It's not conceivable that he might be a useful tool in the future. At this stage, I'm about 80% sure he doesn't know my true identity. It might be safe to meet up with him. On the other hand, I get the impression that even if he knew who I really am, he'd only be impressed. It's a gamble. It could be beneficial, or it could lead to me being caught out. I might even get arrested for my involvement in 3 deaths. Though, is what I'm doing really illegal? I'm not so sure, but I don't think a jury would take my side. That's why I have to err on the side of caution at all times. Kojiro. Okay, let's meet. I type the words and hit send before I have any more second thoughts. It might be a fatal mistake, but if I'm clever enough, I can wrap around my fingers and utilize his connections. I don't think you're anywhere near as clever as you think you are, Noriko. Cool. Message you tomorrow. Bye. Kojiro's status immediately changes to offline. I rest my phone on the couch and look back to the laptop screen in front of me. The smiling, beautiful faces of 2 identical women stare back at me. That's right, I was about to start working on this most interesting request. I still have plenty of time before I need to get to sleep. With this thought in mind, I set about my task in high spirits. It's a nice CG. She looks so sad though. June 4th, Thursday afternoon. The tiny balcony jutting out from the side of my apartment is nothing like was advertised in the real estate listing. When I first saw the misleading photos, I thought it would be spacious and bright, an open-air hideaway that I could use to get some fresh air and improve my health. I wanted to set up a tiny garden and grow some plants, nothing that would require a lot of work, but something that could occupy my spare time. In reality, the balcony is a depressing amalgamation of steel and concrete that saps away any desire to stand upon it. It rests in the eternal shadow of the surrounding buildings and manages to catch the sun's rays for about 4 minutes every day. It's an understatement to say I was disappointed when I ventured out upon it for the first time. I suppose if nothing else, it's a good vantage point for looking out over the city, but that's the only positive thing I have to say about it. As I stand here with my back against the railing, calmly sipping a lukewarm mug of green tea, I breathe a heavy sigh. I should be at the office. I should be tapping away at my keyboard, getting through the backlog of work that has accumulated this week. Instead, I'm here at home, tired and strained and wearing thin at the seams. I called in sick this morning. I don't know if my supervisor bought the lie, but he did tell me to stay home and feel better, so that's what I've been trying to do. It's my own fault I feel this way. It's my own fault that I stayed up until 4 a.m. again. I know that lack of sleep exacerbates my condition. I know that skipping meals and refusing to take medication makes me feel this way. I know that I do this to myself. I know. But this is me. This is what I do to myself as I try to take on each day. This is the way I stretch myself thin for no reason other than because some days I don't want to be better. I just want to be. I want to stay up late and work on Corpse Girl's requests. My body's need for sleep doesn't come before my ambitions. I want to eat only when necessary because when I'm slim, I look beautiful. I want to be beautiful just like her. I want to skip my medication because taking the same pills every day is a hassle and expensive, and I question whether I really need them anymore. If I can just stay at home like this, I don't need the medication. I even came out to the balcony and that counts as being outside. So why do I need to take the pills? It's true that when I skip a few days, I end up like this. I try to convince myself that I'm fine, that I'm fixed, like I was some broken thing that has been magically repaired. But I end up staying inside all day with the curtains shut and my eyes locked on a screen. I know that when I stay on top of medication, I can go to work and the park and the library without a second thought. I can get on the train and not worry about strangers breathing on me or touching me. I can go to the convenience store and leisurely look around. I even went to that restaurant last week and read a book while eating dinner, and no one even tried to cut me or abduct me. And no one tried to strangle themselves in front of me and Yuriko. Can I really only go out and do these normal things because of some tiny pills that a doctor said I need? Or can I do those things because I'm actually better now? Maybe I was never unwell in the first place. Not irrational, just cautious, careful, concerned. I realize that my mug is empty when I bring it to my lips and taste nothing but the slightly waxy, unpleasant sensation of smudged lipstick. Well, I've been outside for long enough anyway. I'll go inside since it's getting late. Plus, I have the feeling that someone on the street below has been watching me and is waiting to climb up onto my balcony. I enter my apartment, set the mug aside, and retreat into my bedroom. My phone is where I left it, sitting face up and begging for my undivided attention. I snatch it up, unlocking the screen. I'm greeted by the last webpage I left open. It's my custom-made news alert for obituaries. From tomorrow morning, I'll be anxiously awaiting news of my latest victim's fate. I timestamped the photo with tomorrow's date, June 5th, 9:01 a.m. The unlucky twin has already received the photo. I sent it out earlier today. After sending a photo, I always hide the burner phone out in the unused shed behind my apartment building. Getting the phone into the shed this morning was rather difficult. I had to cover up my face and hands with some old clothes, and I waited until nobody was in sight before dashing as fast as I could. It took me a good 10 minutes to collect myself inside the shed before I could rush back to my apartment and lock the door behind me. I don't think anyone tried to follow me. However, I know that I'm going to need to retrieve the phone again tomorrow and dispose of it. I'll check it for a reply from the victim, of course. Not that they have a reply. Then I'll destroy the SIM and discard the phone like I always do. It might be difficult to get out there to the shed again. On top of that, I really should go to the office. Oh, and then there's one thing I'm supposed to do tomorrow. Kojiro wants to meet for coffee. I'm not so deluded to think that I can pull off all those escapades tomorrow in my current state. I resign myself to reaching for the bottle of medication on my dresser. Maybe another week of taking these pills won't be so bad. They tend to increase my appetite, which is really annoying. It's a constant struggle to try and ignore the hunger that tears at my stomach. And it doesn't help that they wreak havoc on my libido. I never know what to expect. Sometimes I can look at those photos of Aoi on my phone and feel absolutely nothing. Other times I can simply be scrolling through noise while standing on the train and feel an overwhelming urge to explode. I do my best to dismiss my doubts and fears as I swallow 2 of the tiny tablets. I follow up with a sip of water from the bottle kept next to my bed, and I fight the urge to retch. I'll take a shower to freshen up. After that, I should curl up in bed and read. I need to conserve my strength for tomorrow, so an early night is in order. Maybe tomorrow is the day I'll finally be better. Friday, June 5th.
Where the hell were you yesterday?
Tomoe, we're not best friends.
Did you miss me?
Nah, just glad you haven't bit the dust yet.
That's so sweet.
Tomoe leans in close to me, almost uncomfortably so.
Listen, have you had any trouble with Corpse Girl?
No, I think I'm in the clear.
Well, I guess the time marked on the photo has long passed. Maybe you really are safe.
Yeah. Thanks, though.
Thanks for what?
For thinking of me.
Ah, shut up.
Tomoe's face is glowing red with embarrassment. Despite our differences, our interactions regarding Corpse Girl have helped us bond a little. I'm not counting on Tomoe and I having a lasting friendship. Even just quiet peace might be expecting too much. I think it's in Tomoe's nature to want to pick fights with people regardless of whether she's close to them or not. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up quarreling again, no matter how much we learn to respect each other.
I'm at my desk if you need me, but don't bother me, you know?
She waves and leaves that cryptic statement in the air behind her. I return my attention to my computer and mark a few tasks on my list as completed. The next person to waddle up to my desk and interfere with my work is Shinya. Waddle up, sorry, I got thrown.
You weren't in yesterday?
Yo, everybody coming to talk to Noriko today.
Nope.
Are you well?
Yep.
Okay. I've been meaning to speak to you about Sato.
Here it is.
Aoi?
Yes, the thing is, I'm kind of in deep water because of her not showing up to work. And then resigning immediately.
I was supposed to talk to you about that, actually. It kind of slipped my mind.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry, Shinya. It's my fault, really. I hassled you to get Aoi a job.
No. I didn't exercise due diligence. I really should have made her come in for an interview. Or I should have spoken to her myself to see if her heart was really in it.
When you put it that way...
I'm not trying to be callous, but what he said makes sense.
Listen, you couldn't have known it, but Aoi struggles a bit day to day. I'll just say she has some anxiety issues and leave it at that.
Anxiety, huh?
Don't tell anyone I said that. I was under the impression she's been doing a lot better, but maybe I was wrong.
I guess we all have our hidden struggles, right?
Right.
If only he knew. Then again, maybe Shinya struggles too. Maybe dating Tomoe is his cry for help. Maybe he's gonna snap one day and come to the office with a knife. Or maybe he'll discover Corpse Girl's website and request Kotomiya's death in retaliation for ending his career. Who knows? I can't read this guy as well as I initially thought. For the longest time I was under the impression he had a crush on me, so what would I know?
Anyway, I hope Sato feels better soon. Maybe she'll find a job that suits her one day.
Maybe.
Say, seeing as we're friends now and all, would you mind if I ask you a personal question?
What is it?
That depends on what it is.
Yup.
It's related to, intercourse?
No. No! My face scrunches up at the word. I don't like the direction this conversation is heading in.
Shouldn't this be something you talk to your girlfriend about?
Yes, you're right. But I can't actually speak to her about it. You're really the only other friend I have, so...
I'm also very nosy and I would like to know. Tell me, Shinya. Shinya's face takes on a dark expression that's far more depressing than what he just said. I feel bad for the guy.
Well, what's the question?
Is it an in the middle of the office question?
If, hypothetically speaking, if someone pressures you into, you know...
Oh no.
Sex?
His face turns red in an instant.
Yes, that.
Oh my gosh, is he crying?
If someone pressures you into it and you really don't want to do it, what should you do?
Say no.
Yes.
Firmly and loudly. No one should make you do things you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Yes. Of course.
He's crying. I feel that my answer didn't give Shinya the comfort he is obviously seeking. He's crying.
Is Tomoe pressuring you into going all the way?
No, of course not. She would never... Never mind. It was foolish of me to bring up this topic. I'm really sorry, Noriko. Please, forgive my lack of professionalism.
Shinya bows to me deeply, his face parallel to the floor. He quickly turns and scuttles away before I get the chance to say anything else. What was that all about? Could Tomoe be pressuring him? I wouldn't put it past her, but something doesn't feel right. No, that feels like maybe it's more than that. She seems really smitten with him. Would she really push him like that? Maybe it's guilt from not being able to prevent his career going down the toilet, but I feel like I should try and do something to help him. I watch Shinya get on the elevator, and once the double doors close, I get up from my work desk and scoot over to Tomoe's workstation.
Hey, can I have a minute?
This is weird. Normally I come to bother you.
Yeah, sorry.
Step off, back away from Shinya.
Have you and Shinya ever gone all the way?
Huh? We've only been together for, what, a week? You think I'm some sort of slut? Hey, don't answer that! Look, not that it's your business, but... No, we haven't. Shinya's sweet. He's old-fashioned, you know. He wants to really get to know me before we go down that road. And I'm happy to wait. The last few guys I dated only ever wanted one thing from me. And that gets old real fast, you know?
Okay, I believe you.
Why are you asking me anyway? Did Shinya say something to you?
Yes, and he was crying.
No, I was curious, that's all.
You think we're real friendly now, don't ya? Well, I don't mind some girl talk. Come talk to me anytime.
Thank you, I'll do that.
We're bonding. Tomoe waggles her fingers in a goodbye wave, and I return to my desk. If I take Tomoe at her word, which I find myself doing increasingly often, then she's not trying to get Shinya to do anything he's uncomfortable with. So that could only mean one thing. Someone else is pressuring Shinya. But the guy admitted to me only today that his only friends are Tomoe and myself, so... Ida. Kotomi Ida. Because remember, like, her reaction, like, it was way disproportionate to just one mistake like that. Who was he talking about when he brought up the subject? Ooh, nice coffee shop. I'm a little worried that I haven't received a news alert from my obituary today. My latest victim, that twin woman, had her photo timestamp set to 9:01 a.m. this morning. If my method worked like it has the last few times, then she should be well and truly dead by now. She should have slit her own throat, or someone mysterious should have come along and slit it for her. It's not like I've managed to identify how Corpse Girl's power works. I'm no closer to figuring out why her victims die. All I know is that they do die, and yet I can't find any matching obituaries for the day. I've tried searching manually too. I can't always rely on my automatic filters to get it right. I've scoured every source I can find, and I've come up with nothing. It's possible that she hasn't killed herself yet. It's possible that she's planning to do it. Or maybe someone else is still planning to kill her on Corpse Girl's behalf. It's also possible that this time my victim won't die. Depressingly, that puts me back at square one. My winning streak will be over before it really begins if the corpse photo has no effect. I make a mental note to discard the burner when I get home. I somehow forgot to get rid of it on my way to work, being so absorbed in my strict morning routine. But it's not too late. Barely 24 hours have passed since I sent out the photo. I'm not straying too far from my modus operandi.
Yo, you came. Mad.
That familiar halting voice snaps me out of my thoughts. Kojiro stands before me wearing slightly cleaner clothes than the last time we met. It's very possible that he interpreted this meeting as a date and decided to wear his absolutely best outfit. The smell of the morgue is only faint upon him thanks to the desperate cover-up scent of strong cologne.
Hi.
Can I sit?
Please.
Kojiro pulls up a chair and sits across from me. He's relaxed and awkward all at once. His tall, lanky form doesn't really seem to fit in with the tiny, cozy cafe he selected as our meeting point.
Waiting long?
No, not really.
Oh, it is awkward.
Great. Ordered yet?
No. What do you recommend?
Coffee.
House blend. Fantastic. They roast it here. Also, the chocolate gâteau is amazing.
That was a nice hit on the word gâteau.
I'll order 2 slices.
Thank you, but I'm not hungry. Coffee is fine.
Roger that.
The waitress eventually comes around and Kojiro places our order in fluent French. I think the waitress is taken aback as she bows politely and humbly asks him to repeat himself in Japanese. Once our order is settled, Kojiro leans forward and looks into my eyes.
You wear glasses?
I subconsciously reach a hand to my face and check if I'm indeed wearing glasses. Of course I'm not.
No? Why would you say that?
Kojiro leans back casually and shrugs.
Couldn't remember. Maybe you had them on last time.
Last time? Is he referring to when we met at the library?
I've never worn glasses. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just making conversation.
Awkwardly.
This place is great, right?
It's true that the cafe possesses a quiet, comfortable atmosphere. The smell of freshly roasted coffee lingers in the air, and the display of various cakes at the front counter doesn't make me ill. I can make out the faint sound of acoustic music in the background with vocals in what I presume to be French. All in all, it's a nice place. Kojiro chose well.
Oh, is this place expensive? I just don't have much money, that's all.
Don't worry. It's on me. How's work? The bank, right?
I cock my head to the side. Did I ever tell him what I do for work? I don't recall saying anything on the subject.
I work at the head office for Temujin, not in an actual bank.
That's so. Huh. Read your profile wrong.
I relaxed somewhat at his explanation. Of course he would have read my noise profile before meeting up with me. That's pretty normal. I don't keep much personal information on there, but it's true that my workplace is listed. Our conversation is put on hold as the waitress returns with 2 cups of coffee and a single slice of chocolate gâteau. The cake is delicate and moist, and my stomach growls in betrayal of my convictions. Kojiro thanks the waitress in French, and she once again bows in embarrassment and takes her leave.
A bite?
He scoops up a section of the cake with his fork and holds it out to me. I wave a hand politely and shake my head.
Oh well.
He takes a bite and looks immensely satisfied with his choice of dessert.
Could eat if you wanted. You're skin and bones.
Excuse me?
Just saying. Could stand to gain some weight.
Ooh, oh, it was already awkward. Now it's so much more. The nerve of him! Who would say that to a young woman?
I'll have you know that I eat perfectly well. Think...
Whoa. Sorry. Wasn't trying to be mean. You're gorgeous. Just saying. Some cake wouldn't hurt.
I'm gorgeous? I feel a little flushed, and I look down at my phone to avoid Kojiro's warm gaze.
Try the coffee, please.
I reach for the cup in front of me, more due to the pleasant aroma than Kojiro's suggestion. I take a sip. It's been served at the perfect drinking temperature, and it's absolutely delightful, rich, delicate. I could drink this all day. I've probably been wasting my time drinking canned coffee. This is the real deal.
Thoughts?
For the first time since Kojiro arrived, I smile.
It's wonderful.
Right? I like your smile.
This guy is really laying it on thick. I didn't come here to be swooned. Still, the praise is kind of nice, even if he is just trying to play me with the oldest lines in the book. I figure I should switch the subject to encourage him to stop flirting.
So, how long have you worked in the morgue?
Okay, but listen, with people who work in those places, like, you switching the topic won't derail them from flirting.
Wow. Good question. Okay, let's see. 34 now. Started there at 22. Damn. 12 years. Never thought about it. I'm old.
No, not at all. You're older than I expected, but really, it's no big deal.
You're older than I expected too, Kojiro.
How old are you? Can I ask that?
I don't mind. I'm 20.
Phew. Okay. Right.
Is that an issue?
No, of course not.
He's like, thank God, oh, I'm not going to jail.
You're mature for your age, or I'm out of touch.
You're out of touch.
I can't help but giggle.
Wow. Okay.
He laughs it off, but I wonder if I did hit a nerve.
Would you date an older guy?
And there it is. Straight to the point. How do I answer a question like that? Honestly?
Good question. I've got no issue with age, but I don't really know if you're my type. And if I can be honest, there is someone I have feelings for already.
That's so. Unrequited love, huh?
Something like that.
Props can't compete with that. Well, that's okay. You're stunning. Out of my league. Thrilled to be friends if nothing else.
Friend sounds nice.
Mad.
He raises his coffee cup in a toast, then takes a sip. Maybe I had him wrong. He might be a bit more mature than I gave him credit for. If he can take rejection without pressing the point, that speaks a lot about his character.
So, Corpse Girl. Interesting, right? How does she do it? The photos, the killings, all without knowing the Vic's name.
Yeah.
Wonder what her death count is.
3, 4 if I'm lucky. I try not to say this out loud.
Eiichi Hanada. Car crash. Was it planned? Cut the brake line. Drugged.
I have no idea. Sorry.
But you requested his death.
Yes.
I did lead him to believe that. I'll have to continue to go along with it.
And for no personal reason?
That's right.
Brutal. Don't request my death, okay?
We'll see.
His face lights up almost as if he's impressed with the ambiguous answer. Excited even.
Maybe I should try the site. Request a death. Know anyone who deserves it?
Sorry, not off the top of my head.
Neither. Maybe you should request me.
Whoa.
I'm dying to know how it goes down.
You know, maybe you shouldn't mess with this stuff. What if you really ended up dead?
I can protect myself. I mainly want a corpse photo. How does she do it? Oh, by the way, you read that book I gave you?
You mean Strange Flower?
Bingo.
I'm halfway through it.
Wow, fair effort. It's long. Thoughts?
It's interesting, I won't lie.
No, Belle Sinclair is a sicko, right?
Right. He's not all there.
Halfway through, huh? So, has he dined with the dead?
Yeah. Who was it? His school teacher, I think. He dug up her body 2 days after she died and then dressed her in his mother's Sunday best.
Yeah. Took the corpse out for Italian? I can imagine the waiter's reaction. Classic.
Kojiro seems to really enjoy reminiscing about the book. The story is definitely interesting, but the way he's laughing it makes me a little worried. Then again, the guy works in the morgue, so maybe the whole scenario is just comical to him.
Oh, that's it there.
It takes me a second to realize what he's pointing at. Sure enough, the book in question is sticking out of the top of my bag.
Pass it here. I want to show you a funny passage.
I nod and reach for the book. I pull the massive tome from my handbag with a fair amount of effort. The book comes free, but it snags on the bag's zipper and causes some of the contents to fly out.
Whoa.
A few personal belongings fall to the floor with a clatter. I notice my lipstick, lip gloss, notepad, and pen hit the cafe's tiled floor. Kojiro comes around to my side of the table and helps me pick up my things. He pauses when his hands grapple with another book that has fallen underneath strange flower.
Fausse photography? What's this?
I quickly reach for the book and try to snatch it from his grasp.
It's nothing.
Kojiro is quick and he instinctively avoids my desperate grab. He holds the book aloft and continues reading the cover.
English? A comprehensive history of photo manipulation.
He returns to his seat and flips through the pages as I finish packing my belongings away. I bow my head silently, waiting for his judgment.
Yo, you can read this?
Only a little.
Oh, this is tough. My English isn't good. Thought it was French at first. These images.
Kojiro suddenly snaps the book closed and looks at me.
I figured it out.
I brace myself for his inevitable accusation.
Corpse Girl fakes the photos. The photos aren't from the future.
Oh, he thought they really were? He was ready for time travel.
Like that was ever possible.
You wanted it to be.
Photo is fake. Timestamp is fake.
He's correct, but will he go back to assuming that I'm Corpse Girl?
Hey, why do you have this book? Are you editing photos?
I mean, I have an interest in it, but that's all.
Totally not Corpse Girl bite.
This book is old. Doubt the techniques are useful anymore. Still, it's interesting. My theory. Thoughts?
About Corpse Girl faking the photos?
Bingo.
I don't know. Sure, it's possible, but can anyone fake a photo so realistically?
Look at her searching for praise. She's like, the photos, like, how good are they? Look at anyone make photos that good? I don't know.
Realistically? Do you know her photos are realistic?
Thinking quickly, I snap back with an answer.
You sent me that copy of Eiji Hanada's corpse photo. The one Corpse Girl apparently produced.
True.
It was good, right? Pretty convincing.
Very convincing. Is photo manipulation that good?
I suppose if someone skilled enough was doing it.
If it's not photo manipulation, then one more theory.
What is it?
Maybe the subject in the photo is a corpse.
Oh, he's good.
I'm confused. Of course it's a corpse. What's your point?
Sorry, hear me out. It's a photo of a real corpse. Just not the victim's corpse. Corpse Girl acquires a real corpse, dresses it up, just like in Strange Flower. She makes it look like the Vic. It's convincing because it's real. No photo manipulation.
I see.
Immediately my mind starts to kick into high gear. Kojiro has unknowingly presented me with an unprecedented idea. What if Corpse Girl does get real corpses? What if she dresses them up, wounds them, makes them look like a carbon copy of the victim? Then she holds a photography session to capture the magic. The realism will be amazing. It'll be way more convincing than manipulating a photo, even though I've become pretty good at that. It'll be the next step up in realism. It's sure to convince victims to kill themselves. If Corpse Girl's victims can be relied upon to kill themselves, then I don't have to continually question the cause of death. I wouldn't need to worry about whether some mysterious third party is wandering around slaying people on Corpse Girl's behalf. All of the deaths would be caused by suicide. It'd be predictable. Conquering victims would simply be a matter of forging a convincing enough corpse replica. But the legwork involved in acquiring corpses would be... that's it. The answer is sitting right in front of me with a smudge of chocolate cake on its chin and an empty coffee cup resting in his hands.
Say, hypothetically, would it be easy for Corpse Girl to even have access to dead bodies? Legal ramifications aside, could she possibly have a source of cadavers to desecrate at will?
Yeah, it's not impossible. Take someone like me. I have the morgue. I'm there alone, mostly. Someone like Corpse Girl makes me an offer, I'd give away spare corpses, no problem.
All this too suggestive.
Of course, I could get busted. It's not about losing my job. I'm not going to prison. The price would have to be right. But that's just me. Employees in other morgues, well, can't speak for them.
Interesting. So you would willingly work with Corpse Girl if the price was right?
Yeah, I've said it before. Big fan. I support her work. It's fascinating. If she really is using cadavers to make photos, then... well, I'm offended she didn't come to me for help.
This is amazing. I never imagined this meeting would be so lucrative. if I want to get my hands on all the corpses I'll ever need, I can just ask him here and now. I find myself breathing heavily and I notice that my cheeks are warm and my head feels slightly airy. It all comes down to whether or not I really want to step up my game. The way things are, well, the twin woman, my latest victim, doesn't seem to have given up the ghost. Maybe I'm being impatient, or maybe my work just isn't as convincing and powerful as I want it to be. Then there are the cases of the previous victims. Akane Surumaki killed herself, there's no doubt about that. But Aichi Hanada, it's highly possible his car wreck truly was accidental. I may not have had a hand in that after all. Ruri Hatano, my first ever conquest, the cause of her death still eludes me. There's no way she could have killed herself in the position her body was discovered in. She's the whole reason I started suspecting someone else's involvement in the first place after all. So there's one definite suicide, one potential murder, and one death that was an accident, a traffic collision that happened to coincide with the date I wanted the victim to die. Statistically, there's no way to know how Corpse Girl's power actually works. It's almost like deaths are just caused at random, and when you pile in the countless failures I've encountered over the past year, well, my success ratio isn't very impressive. If I could truly compel victims to simply kill themselves, then it would take the guesswork out of the whole thing, that's for sure. With Kojiro's help, I could acquire cadavers and make them look like my victims. The work would be completely different to photo manipulation. There will be gore involved, no doubt about it, and it'll take a steady hand, some makeup artistry and access to clothing, props. Then there's lighting to consider and backdrops. It's one thing to take an image from the database of the deceased and have a corpse splattered on the pavement ready to go. It's an entirely different thing to have to drag a body out of a morgue and plant it in position, then take photos of it. There'll be a lot to consider here. It's not a decision I can make lightly. On top of that, I doubt I have the courage right now to ask Kojiro straight up for his help. But if I do go for it, I'm absolutely positive it will lend a massive amount of credibility to Corpse Girl's mission. The extraordinary realism will pave the road ahead of me with blood.
Yo, finished your coffee?
Oh,
I quickly take a sip and drain the cup.
that was delicious. Thank you for treating me.
Very welcome. Shall we head off?
Yes, let's.
Any plans for the night?
Yes, sorry I can't hang out longer.
No problem. I had fun.
Kojiro stands up and conjures his wallet. He leaves a few bills on the table and steps toward me. I stand up too, and playing my best hand, I quickly lean forward and plant a soft kiss on his cheek. The maneuver is surprisingly difficult thanks to his height, and I don't think I pull it off as gracefully as I had planned.
Oh,
Thank you for the date. Will I see you again?
Not cool. I give him my best alluring look as I bat my eyelids gently.
yeah, of course.
He slowly rubs his cheek with tender fingers, amazed that I just kissed him.
Bye-bye now.
I spin and make a beeline for the exit. I hope my trembling legs don't betray me as I step out onto the pavement outside. It's not in my nature to try and seduce somebody for my benefit, so much so that my attempt at it has left me feeling rather queasy. I don't know if I pulled it off, but now that I've left the cafe, I can't look back to see what effect I had on Kojiro, if any. I cross the road and a shiver runs down my spine. I hope I'm prepared for what I'm getting myself into. June 6th, Saturday afternoon. The weekend is here, and despite my desire to stay inside my apartment with the doors locked and windows closed, I find myself at the mall shopping for a new phone charger. My current charger gave up on me at midnight, and now my phone is running dangerously low on life power. I tried plugging into different outlets, I tried plugging into my laptop, but nothing. I did give my device even the slightest amount of charge. I thought for sure I had a spare charger lying around, but I turned my apartment inside out trying to find it. Couldn't even find the right type in my drawer of burner phones. So either the charger has died, which is the best case scenario, or my phone has become faulty. I hope the latter is not the case because I really can't afford to purchase a new one. Getting it repaired is out of the question. I refuse to hand it over to somebody for a day or two and go without it. So I'm hedging my bets on the issue being with the charger. If I can buy a new one, all my problems should be solved. This is what I tell myself as I scurry through the crowded mall, dodging left and right to avoid careless people trying to bump into me. I know there's an electronics store around here somewhere. Even a discount store will probably have a budget charger that will still fit my device. I just want to find what I'm looking for and get out of this place. As I blindly navigate the area, I think back to last night when I first noticed my phone was no longer charging. I'd been browsing through the obituary newsfeed, searching desperately for any sign of my latest victim's demise. No clues came up. There were countless new obituaries, of course. This is a big country and people die every day, but very few matched the description of my victim. The obituaries that did match had photos included, but none of them looked remotely like the twin woman. It was dead end after dead end. I might have to just accept the fact that this latest request will go unfulfilled. But accepting it makes me angry. Very, very angry. I find myself stomping through the mall more often than simply walking. People will glance at me, but I don't pay heed. I wanted that woman to die. I wanted her twin sister to rejoice or despair at the fact that befell her own flesh and blood. I wanted her to feel the fear of seeing her own corpse in a photo. I wanted her to feel the cold and clammy hands of death tugging at her skirt, whispering to her, inviting her to spiral down and down and down and down and down. To spiral down and just die. To give up, to die, to spiral down, to die, to spiral out of control. I wanted her to die. I wanted her to die. I wanted her to die. Spiral down, down, down.
Why didn't you die? Why didn't you die?
My head is foggy, my senses blurred, my face hot, my hands cold. I repeat the mantra through gritted teeth.
Why didn't you die? Why didn't you die? Why didn't you die?
I fall to my knees and scream at the top of my lungs.
Why didn't you die?
Woo! That seems appropriately dramatic. We'll leave it here for now and we'll pick it up again. How do we feel about the attempted seduction of Kojiro? It just keeps getting more and more mad. I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun kind of hot mess in my opinion, but I want to hear yours. Tell me your thoughts and theories down below and I'll see you again soon on Enjoying Pixels. Bye bye.